Would the Jupiter and
be
Sun
determined.
be singing like
It makes a great
mantras,
Jyotishi.
chant, spiritual kind of like
It's
the
all-
God-
Jupiter is going. Jupiter is going to make him well read, well studied.
What is that yoga suite? It's like all the Sattva planets are in Lagna and D9.
That's Hari Ramakrishna.
Yes,
That's
it is.
pretty. And that's only
All
in
he'd have to do is
Shravana.
Hari Ramakrishna, and he fully becomes, a perfect Jyotishi, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hari Ramakrishna is ready to do.
Yeah.
If that's the
that.
Navamsha Lagna.
If that's the Navamsha Lagna, I know. You think because that's Raj Yoga? I was in Jupiter Moon.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Hold on,
under
Raj
the
Yoga
influence
relative.
of
In Navamsha.
Navamsha Raj Yoga?
yeah, Navamsha Raj Yoga.
Okay, are you
The
sure
first
there
time
is a
still-
Navamsha Raj Yoga?
I don't know. Is there? They
No,
list
okay.
them. They list yogas in Vargas.
We're not going to use house lords at the same level.
It's not the same level.
No.
So then, but look, it's under attack from Mars and Saturn.
Mm.
So it looks like there's some obstacles to that, Sun, Moon, Jupiter from
Fructifying.
Who's your Atmakaraka?
Atmakaraka is Rahu.
That's right.
No, is that right? So,
But if we look too from the
Would be-
Rashi in this chart, Moon, Jupiter, and Sun are they're the only planets in Kendra.
Kendras again.
Oh,
Rahu.
that's true.
Jeez.
Wait. Rahu and Saturn Ketu are on Kendra.
No, in Rashi?
Oh, in
The
Rashi.
Rashi chart.
Oh, yes.
Do you
Again,
see
the
that?
three
Yeah,
Sattva
yeah, yeah.
planets. That's like,
Mars is.
And Ketu and Saturn are conjunct in the Navamsha, and they're in opposition. Oh no, that's Saturn and Venus in opposition. Okay. But Ketu's not there, so Tapasvi Yoga in neither chart.
Here's the Tapasvi Yoga in both charts.
Neither.
No, in the
Both are
D9,
almost.
Oh, okay.
See, Ketu, Saturn, and
Oh,
Venus
right.
need to be in some type of trinal relationship.
Oh,
Yeah,
it could be in a
close.
trinal relationship.
Well,
I
conjunct
thought
and
it
or
just
trine.
needs
kinda.
the aspect.
Aspect, there should be association.
Well, Venus is associating with K2.
It's the Lord, right?
in D9. Wait,
It's
No,
the
in the Rashi chart,
Venus.
it's associated with the fifth lord. Fifth lord is with K2, and
Fifth
sixth
Lord.
lord is in Mercury sign. Parivartana there, and Saturn's aspecting Venus.
You're right, the Parivartana brings the connection.
Yeah.
So it is a Tapasvi Yoga. This is a whole different chart, isn't it?
What does that mean,
Really?
Tapasvi Yoga?
That means that I will undertake penance.
The person can
Yeah.
undertake penance.
I can do it.
They have the ability. Like you sit there, you're looking at a chart. Like, how can I say? Friday, it was very interesting. There was two almost opposite readings. The two people both had the same birth star. One person had terrible afflictions, no Tapasvi anything in their chart. They needed some serious remedies. But I looked, they couldn't do any serious remedies. Then the next chart was this guy who had a pretty good life. He just had some issues with people at work. He needed like little baby remedies, and things would be fine in his life. And looking at his chart, it's like he has full Tapasvi Yoga. I said, so what do you, he does Vishnu Sahasranam every morning. He does like this full puja. He had one of his planets was, I said I wanted to give him Somanath Jyotirlinga mantra. I said, do you do Shiva puja or Shiva Linga puja? He says every morning and every night. Tapasvi Yoga, just like, so that it's like, but he can, anything I gave that guy, he could accomplish. I say do 40 days of, he'd stay up all night, he'd get it done. Where this, so that's a tough,
But it means you could do a lot of work.
Tapasya.
I don't even know what that word means. But I
Tapasya.
don't know what it means. Something about heat.
Tapas is like that. Is the friction that a person experiences when they're not out there distracting themselves with the world, and
It's
they're
a little more
focusing
than
on
that.
they're focusing on burning their karma, basically.
The key is it's burning the karma, but it's actually cooking.
Cooking.
It's cooking you.
Cooking.
You're cooking you. To be done. In order to be done, you got to be cooked.
Right.
You got to be well cooked to be done. You know?
Yeah.
And so how do we get cooked? How do we get well done?
Burn.
We got to burn up our bad karmas. We got to like purify certain things. And so on a physical level, that means various practices and things where we're really, often it's used as austerities. Things where you're being very harsh to the body so that your mind becomes detached from bodily sensations and conceptions. At the next level up, it becomes at the level of meditation and concentration so that the mind, you burn up your attachments to your mental thoughts and projections so that you can transcend them. Ramana Maharshi's definition of tapasya was, he said the highest level of tapasya is follow back. I can't remember his exact wording, but any time that you think I something this, I something that, who is that I? When you follow that I back to the source, that's true tapasya. It's basically you can't just go with the flow. Because going with the flow is water. Going against the flow becomes like fire. And that's tapasya. And the thing is, as I said once to, I think it was Amrita pretty recently, it's, she was doing a sadhana that took an hour and a half to do the mantras. And it wasn't an easy mantra. And it has to be done after 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, that.
So at 10 o'clock at night, she has to go, and she has work the next day, having to get up at 5:30.
Yeah.
So doing an hour and a half of sadhana at 10 at night just doesn't really work. But after doing that for 40 days, all of a sudden you sit down and do a 10-minute mantra is like nothing. It's like cake. Things become easy because you created this level of discipline in you. And so that ability to create that discipline is the real, I don't want to say it's the goal of tapasya, because the goal of tapasya is to get to the end, moksha. But on the small level goals of tapasya, it's really to get that discipline, to have the power to do the practices, to have the control of your mind. Because in order for your mind to follow itself back into the source, you see what happens is you start looking, a thought's coming and you want to follow it back into the source. You start looking at the source, all of a sudden another thought comes and you start following that thought. And then you're like, oh, let me follow this back to the source. You start looking to the source. More thoughts are coming by and you just hop on them and keep riding out, So you're not going into that deep core of your being because you keep hopping on the thoughts and driving out. So it takes intense discipline to be able to not ride those thoughts and watch where those thoughts are coming and follow them back. So that's tapasya. That discipline, that real, and so tapasya is all these practices that are developing the discipline and the unattachment that allows us to have this control of our body, of our mind, of our being. And that is sadhana. It's sadhana that gives us that. So somebody who's doing lots of sadhana and has the ability to do very intense sadhanas is a tapasvi. And by doing those intense sadhanas, they're developing strong discipline. And by developing that strong discipline, they're getting strong spiritual energy. Because they're controlling themselves. If you control yourself, you're controlling your senses. And he who controls his senses has the ability to achieve pratyahara. He who can achieve pratyahara can achieve dharana and dhyana, which leads to samadhi. So, tapasvi yoga. Okay.